Hi guys, this is Amy Rizzuto of Amy Rizzuto Photography, and I am so excited to see you guys again. This is my first vlog after my 30-day vlog challenge, and it is about time. Today we are going to be talking about something I have found extremely helpful, back button focusing. So, what is back button focusing? About 6 months after I started shooting professionally, the term back button focusing kept popping up. I ignored it at first because I wasn't sure of exactly what it meant. After I had multiple dreams about it, I decided it was time to learn. Back button focusing is basically when you set your camera to allow you to manually focus using one of the buttons on the back of your camera instead of the shutter button. Let me tell you a little more. When your camera is in autofocus mode, you choose your focal point and then push the shutter button halfway down to focus your shot. Then, you recompose and push the shutter button all the way down to take the picture. The problem comes when you don't want to put your subject smack dab in the middle of the photo. I have the Canon 5D Mark II, so I'm going to use this one for demonstration purposes. The 5D Mark II has 9 focal points, the strongest one being in the middle. In autofocus mode, I would have to point my center focal point to my subject's eye, push the shutter button halfway down, recompose, and then take the picture. Then, if I wanted to take another picture, I would have to go through the same process. This can be very time-consuming and tedious, which is not something you want on a wedding day. On the wedding day, moments happen really fast, and you want to be able to capture them successfully and in focus. This is where back button focusing becomes really helpful. So, instead of letting good old Canon choose where to focus for me, I'm going to take things into my own hands. After setting my camera up to back button focus, my process is going to be a little bit different. I'm still going to point the center focal point at my subject's eye, but instead of pushing the shutter button halfway down to focus the camera, I'm now going to push one of the buttons on the back of my camera. This will lock my focal point in so I can now recompose my photo. Instead of having to refocus every time, my camera is now locked in the focal position I want, and as long as my subjects stay in that focal plane, I won't have to refocus my camera. This is really awesome for important moments on the wedding day, like the first kiss and when the bride and groom are coming up the aisle for the first time as man and wife. So, how do I set my camera to back button focus? It's easy. Let me show you. First, locate your custom functions menu. Then, go to CFN4 and enter it. Once in CFN4, you have 6 menus. You will want to change Menu 1 to Option 2. What this does is it changes the function of the shutter button so that it only activates the in-camera meter and takes the image, and it moves the autofocus button to the AF on button on the back top right of your camera. This adjustment is optional, but what it does is it moves the autofocus from the AF on button that we just enabled to the one right next to it, the AE lock button. This is the one you use to lock your exposure when shooting in auto modes. Now, with this option enabled, you can focus using the AE lock button or the button with the star, and if you simply keep holding that button down after the camera focuses, it will also lock the exposure if you happen to be shooting in an auto mode. It is also closer to your thumb, so finding it is easier, which I think is a plus. Now, you're all set. Remember, back button focusing can be tricky, so you want to practice a lot before using it on a wedding. Once you get the hang of it though, you'll wonder how you ever did without it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. This is Amy Rizzuto of Amy Rizzuto Photography, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.